Hi, my name is Dan Aukus, and I'm happy and pleased to be able to share with you some of the things I've been up to since I left academia in fall 2025. So, considering all the things that have been going on in the past year or two with regard to funding and the changes to technology, I've been thinking a lot lately about how to improve the educational experience. And so, I'm very excited to be able to share that with you today. So I've been working on a course hosting website called Backpack, which is at the current time just a little sub site that's budded off of my main project or my main personal website. So the thing about Backpack is that it tries to solve some of the problems that I have had when I was teaching. The first one is working with the material. So I love Markdown. If you have read any of my old posts on LinkedIn, you would see that it is basically in every process that I do when it comes to material creation, whether that's presentations, textbook materials, or course materials, presentations, whatever. So why would I want to convert all that material out to some other format? So Backpack has been created with that in mind. It allows me to use the material as it was written in Markdown, and it presents a very nice front end to that writing process. Now, as a learner, you might say, why does that matter to me? It doesn't really matter to you what the back end looks like, how it's written. But what I will say is that the faster I create course material and the more efficiently I can do it, the faster I can respond to the needs of students. And so, in terms of your experience, it means I can be more responsive. And so, I'm really excited to be able to produce a project that allows me to work natively in Markdown. So the second feature that I'm working on in Backpack is related to assessments. And I'm going to start with a question. How is the best way to learn? Um, you know, if you think of a traditional lecture model, you might be sitting in lecture, listening passively, and then being tested on that, or even doing an assignment on that later in the week. I would contend that the best way to solidify your knowledge of new content is to test your knowledge of it right then and there and to get feedback immediately whether you're on the right track or not. And so built into Backpack is this modular way of embedding the functionality of your course into the back end and exposing that to the front end, the teaching platform, so that you can customize your experience. So if I'm teaching a dynamics class, I can generate dynamics related images, text, and questions. And if I'm teaching a robotics related class, I can load modules in ROS or Python and use those interactively to generate a question asking and answering paradigm that allows me to dynamically generate those on demand. So the reason why that's cool is because then that allows me to generate more than one question on demand, which is not something you would find in a static textbook or lecture notes or even in most lectures. So the other thing that I'm working on with regard to this course hosting site is actually the course material. And so one of the things I envision is being able to teach courses in a different way. So it's through these interactive experiences that I believe that I can differentiate from some of the other experiences you might find online in other kinds of courses. My goal is to foster a sense of community through these shared experiences, team-based project work, and a cohort of people who are all going through the same thing at the same time. It's going to make sure that if you're sitting in on an office hours, you're hearing other people's stumbling blocks, and maybe you haven't gotten there yet, but you get to hear the solution that they had to go through to solve it. It also means that you'll be able to cross-pollinate ideas and suggestions from other teams. The next step is I would like to solicit your help. So one of the first courses I'm going to teach is a course I'm calling Dynamic Site Generation with Markdown and Django. And I'd like your help. If you're interested in beta testing the course and the site, please go to my website, backpack.danaukus.com, create an account, and pre-register for the course. I won't be able to accept every person who pre-registers, but I'm looking for a dedicated small group of people who are willing to put in a little bit of extra time for some relatively cheap material in order to help me improve the process and the site in preparation for a wider release later this year. So please visit the new site, and I hope to hear back from you, and any comments or suggestions are welcome. Thank you very much.